Hey everybody, we're your hosts. She's Noelia.
And she's Kristen.
Welcome to After 5.
Hello there, everyone. On today's show, we have Maddy Dullum.
She is a multi-instrumental singer-songwriter. Let's take a look at her video and her music and then get right to the interview.
Let's see what's going on.
Love is more than just a feeling, and the grace of God is why we're breathing. So go on and shout your riots. You're gonna need much more than bullets to silence me, 'cause words are all I need.
Well, thanks so much for being here today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for making the drive down. So tell us, everybody has sort of a beginning story of why music is important to them and why they decide to get into it and write their own songs. So tell us a little bit about how you got started.
Well, I was singing out the womb, started singing as soon as I could talk, and I got started in musical theater when I was in 3rd grade and kind of did that whole thing through high school. Recently played Ariel in The Little Mermaid, which was a blast, and I really, really, really love musical theater. So that's where I kind of decided, like, you know, I really, really like being on stage. And in like late middle school, early high school, I started singing more, like besides show tunes. And my grandma taught me piano lessons, so I kind of started singing and playing at a young age, and did worship stuff in church and high school and youth group and congregational stuff. So that's kind of where I got going.
Nice.
Are you still doing musical theater?
No,
No?
I can't. I could, but it's so time consuming, and with all my music that I'm doing on the weekends and playing music at events and weddings and stuff, I just don't have the time for it.
So are you mainly doing live performances right now?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, all the time.
All
It's
right.
cool.
So let's talk a little bit about some of your music. I was looking at a couple of your songs, in particular your song Demons and Why We're Breathing. And those are pretty heavy songs, so tell us a little bit about them and what the inspiration behind those were.
Yeah, well, they're very different songs. So Why We're Breathing is kind of where I'm at today. You know, the little tagline in the song is, the grace of God is why we're breathing. And I wrote that song after I wrote Demons. So it's a long story, but I grew up in the church, did ministry in middle school and high school and stuff, and then I started going to a different church with a friend of mine and got very plugged in there with the youth ministry, and I was on the worship team and did all that stuff. And as I kind of got a little older, like my senior year of high school, I just kind of didn't like what it was all about, and it was a lot, it was very fear-based. And I don't know, I just felt afraid at night, like there was going to be some demon that was going to come to me in my sleep, and you know, we're always being hunted by this like other force, and I accept that. It's true to an extent, but I just don't think that's how Jesus wants us to live. I think we're supposed to live, you know, for him and for other people, and be happy and joyful and understand that we're forgiven, and it's all about grace, and it's not about like, don't do this, don't do that, don't do that, of course not that. So I don't know, so I left the church angrily and went literally crazy, made a lot of bad choices, you know, did the whole like teenage rebellion thing, and I was really angry with the youth pastor at that church. So I wrote Demons in like 12 minutes.
Did you?
I was just
Yeah.
done.
Well, you can feel the passion in that song. You can feel that it had some deep meaning to you.
Yeah, it does. It is the most important song that I've written. And I think that a lot of people can relate to that negative church experience, and that's why I think a lot of people like don't believe in God and don't have a faith is because, you know, they had a negative church experience, and someone said, you have to live your life like this, and they were like, what? Why? So, yeah, that's where the song came from. And, yeah, it means a lot to me.
Do you feel like the church has had a big impact on your creative process? Is God involved in a lot of your music making, or do you branch off into other avenues?
I do branch off into other avenues, but, you know, he's pretty constant in my writing and my decision making sometimes.
Good.
So yeah, I try to be solid.
Tell us about the song Why We're Breathing. You wrote that after you wrote Demons, so what does that song mean to you?
Well, what's funny is when I started writing Why We're Breathing, I was just like dinking around on the piano, found this cool little progression. Do 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 do. I was like, this is cool. And so I just started singing random lyrics. I was like, oh, this rhymes. Cool. And then this song kind of unfolded from just like a personal jam sesh. So at first, I mean, I didn't sit down at the piano thinking, the grace of God is why we're breathing. I was just like messing around, and then that song came from that. Which is interesting because all of my other songs are very intentional with like the message I want to give or the story I want to tell. But Why We're Breathing was like totally just came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But in that sense, I don't think that I wrote that song.
Yeah.
I think that God was
It just
like,
came through you.
hey, here's a pen. This is cool. So people really like it, and it means a lot to other people, which means a lot to me.
Good. Good.
Yeah.
That's great. So tell us, what do you enjoy best about performing?
You know, dude, I just love being on stage. I love lights. I love people listening to me.
So do
And
we.
yeah. I just love being on stage, and I've got a lot to say.
Yeah.
So when I'm like in that light, people listen, and I think it's cool. I just like being on stage.
Good. Well, do you have any shows coming up next?
Yes. What am I? Oh, I'm playing. I can say this because it'll be passed. So I'm playing at a surprise wedding on a yacht.
Fun.
Nice.
Yeah, it's like a Christmas party, but they're gonna get married,
Fun.
and I'm super stoked. So that's next week.
Wait, who's surprised? Who's going to be surprised?
Okay,
The
so the bride
guests or
and the
the
groom. No, they're the bride and groom are planning the surprise.
Oh, okay.
So the guests that are on the yacht don't know that the bride and groom are getting married.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm
Actually, I had a
If
friend.
the bride was surprised,
I had a friend who was a bride who did that to her husband her fiance, on his birthday at New Year's Eve.
And he didn't know?
Surprised him with a wedding.
Oh my gosh.
He actually loved it, but I had knots in my stomach.
Yeah.
What if he doesn't? And like, here's everybody, and everyone knows but you.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that's good. So just the guests will be surprised.
Yeah.
That's better.
Yeah, and I like need to know the secret.
Well, fun.
And all of a sudden I'm gonna play this like really badass like introduction to the wedding march, and she'll like rip off or whatever she's wearing, and she's like, ta-da-da.
That's awesome.
Getting married. Super rad.
Some big old trench coat. Like.
The whole night she's just wandering around in it. Yeah. I'm excited. It'll be fun.
Oh, that'll be fun. That'll be fun. All right. So where can we find you?
MaddyDullum.com.
Social media?
And I'm on YouTube and Spotify, iTunes,
Okay.
Instagram.
All right. Great. Well, we'll make sure to get all that information, and we will link it below, and so you guys can find how to get a hold of her and how to watch her and follow you.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Well, we love your music.
Thank
We're
you.
excited to have you on the show today. Thank you. We're looking
Yes,
forward
thanks
to
for making the
seeing-
drive down.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. We're looking forward to seeing where you go from here.
Cheers.
Cheers. And cheers to
Oregon Wine Lab.